this is my gorgeous client. I love her. She's so much fun. So you can see she's giving me feedback about how things are going for her. So, she says, since I started my profile, I've been bombarded with messages. I'm having so much fun. The first day we did our profile, I got bombarded, overwhelmed, but I ignored all of them. Yesterday, I started communicating and having chats with some, and I'm having so much fun. I've already been out on a date. I'm really enjoying the online gig, and this is someone who hated online dating, and I went back to a Make Men Commit program last night, put out the script, and the guy that asked me out, I think he's an alpha guy next door charmer. So you can see she has so much knowledge, so much content. Not only have we revamped her profile to get more results, she's now analysing the men, knowing what type he is, and actually getting out on dates. And it's really funny. At first, she's like, oh my gosh, overwhelmed, stop. Another story I'd love to share with you as a beautiful client, Jude. So her email, she was with me just a couple of months, and she continuously had a pattern of dating men who were just not giving her anything. They were sort of stringing her along, or, breadcrumbing a message here and there when I spoke to her. And I was like, look, girlfriend, you are worth so much more. Let's get you a really great man. So she sent through an email. I'm a great example of how your strategies work. I'm very much in love with one of the men you first recommended. Who would have thought I'd find the right man and success within 2 months of meeting you? I feel so happy. Now, I helped her break years and years of patterns. So she says, thank you so much for your teaching, time, and experience. Love, Jude. Another story I'd love to share with you is my gorgeous client, Deanne. Now, I love all the women that come to me because they all have one thing in common. They're very serious about what they want. They put in the work and they make things happen. So Deanne also had another pattern of dating this particular man who was just stringing her along. He made excuses, he'd set up dates, cancel last minute, and it was starting to impact her confidence. And when she first came to me, she said, I really want to get commitment from this guy. If you could help me, that'd be amazing. And deep down I thought, I can do that, but I can also give you another option. So what we did was I showed her ways to build that connection with that first man. And I also showed her to look at some other options. Anyway, turns out man B was the right one for her. She could not believe it. He was a man that she'd normally not go for. But with my influence and my, support to giving her the correct strategies to really look at him as a whole, having somebody professional as opposed to somebody emotionally involved really helped her make the decision. 6 months on, he talked about marriage, and I knew he would. Anyway, it turns out man number A was really interested in her, and she gave him the flick because he was just too much of a game player with the push-pull effect. Another email I'd love to share was Kylie. She was super cool. She was in her mid-30s. She had never actually had a guy. She was actually 36, never had a guy say, I love you. But she saw me, and then 2 years later, I get this email out of the blue. We worked on her feminine energy and picking the right man. And there was one particular man I also helped her solidify a relationship with because I knew he'd be right for her. Anyway, I get an email that says, happy to report I'm now finalising the details of my wedding, which is planned for the 6th of September this year. It is to the man I met online. We did some coaching and thankfully allowed myself to enjoy the relationship and not slip into my old self-sabotaging behaviours. Thank you so much for your guidance and advice. I will be grateful forever. And you best remove me from your mailing list. I was happy with that. So the Husband Project has a success strategy, and the key is it's not about putting your eggs in one basket. It's about giving you choice. It's about helping you pick the right man and giving you an abundance of choice. This is my client, Isabella. Now, she was absolutely adorable. She was a nurse and she just had no opportunities to meet men. And when she did, they sort of strung her along and she was just over it. And she was getting to the age where, working as a midwife, she was around babies, wanted babies. So she met this incredible guy, Ken, and through my methods and strategies, she actually went speed dating. She built that connection. She was able to identify him, and they grew close, and that's them on their wedding day. So happy days. Full husband hunt, a full plan to give you quality, options, and an abundance of choice. So this is another email that came through one of my clients. She is absolutely adorable. So it's my client, Janelle. she said, look, sorry I haven't been catching up in the group, but good news is I've met someone with your support, writing my profile on the different types of men and working out on myself helped me find him. We both share the same values and want the same thing. Yay! I believe with your research and advice, it has changed my life. So I loved speaking with Janelle because all her friends now go to her for advice, and she used to just wait for the man to come up to her, and that's why she kept attracting the wrong men, the alpha men that would chase and disappear. So then when she learned about the 4 types of men, she knew exactly who to approach, how to approach him, and then step back and let him do the work. Another case study here is Bianca. Now, she's emailed me, thank you so much, give me the confidence to attract the right man. I mean, just out of the first module, she says, which talks about the 4 types of men. Boy, did I get schooled. I had an aha moment where I realized that I've been using one simple template to talk to each man that I dated. I totally understand how to interact with each type of man and how to get into their psyche now. And I feel more confident to talk to men nowadays, and I feel so much better. And it's the key thing. If you understand the types of men, you will gain so much power and confidence ways. So here's another study of Jennifer Langley. So she'd been married twice before and had almost given up when she came to me. She was thinking, I just keep getting it wrong. I keep attracting narcissists. I keep attracting men that are toxic. Maybe I should just give up. But I really, really want to give it just one more chance. So we put together a full plan for her. We did some online and offline strategies. Within 4 short months, she met her man, Mark. And things were never better for her. He was different to any other man that she dated. He was interested in her. He was kind, caring, considerate, and he was the one that was propelling the relationship to that next level, asking her if she was happy to go exclusive, asking her what sort of life she wanted, and he was a true romantic. So she was happy that finally, after all this time, she got it right and finally got the type of man that she wanted and deserved. My next case study was Jenny. Jenny had worked in the field of medicine, so she was surrounded by a lot of men, but she was very much in her head. She would overthink things, overanalyze, and she'd actually dated a lot of doctors herself and lawyers, but things just weren't going well for her. She'd sort of get to a point and then they'd just disappear. So we worked on a strategy to help her understand the different types of men. And there was one man in particular that was from her past that sort of kept popping up now and then. So when I taught her, he wasn't the type of man to chase, and I showed her the types of messages that she should send to him to connect with him, they actually ended up going exclusive and in a serious relationship. And she was over the moon because she just couldn't get it right herself. They've now engaged and they're talking about family and their timelines because, as you know, the medics love to plan. So I want you to think about what would a good 12 months look like for you, or even 3